It's Shallontine's Day. Shalligators, welcome back. I'm so excited to kick off our Valentine's Day coverage this year. We are talking about seduction. I don't know if you've read Robert Greene's masterpiece, The Art of Seduction. It is truly a Bible / a textbook on not only how to be seductive, but how to be seductive per your specific seductive archetype. There's the siren, the star, the coquette, the dandy, the gamine, and of course the anti-seducer, like basically the traits of somebody who is not at all seductive. So this year for Shallontine's Day, we are going to be doing a whole series on how to find your perfect seductive character. Which one are you? How do you embody that? How do you live it? How do you take it off of just like concept and really use it to mastermind all the relationships in your life? Because here's the thing with seduction, just like with charm, it's not just about sex. It's not just about guys or dating. When you know truly the kind of seductress that you are, you take it into every aspect of your life. Now, if you watched this last year's Evil Week in October, it was all about the art of social climbing. And the central point that I taught is that charm will get you everywhere. Charm will get you everywhere. And it's not just about climbing to get to the top of a corporate ladder or make rich friends or meet rich men. It's all of those things. And once you really start to inhabit charm, that is the key that unlocks every door in the world. And now we're going to one-up this. We're going to take this up one more level and talk about seduction specifically. Charm is one of those things, it's kind of one size fits all. Like it's something you just need to learn how to do to flirt your way through life. Charm is manipulation. Seduction is taking that charm and really tweaking it to your specific brand. And listen, having a brand isn't about like being an influencer, a corporation or something douchey. It's about your identity. Who are you? Well, in my Shallontine's Day series, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to help you figure out exactly who you are and where to start if you're like, I'm literally not seductive at all. I'm like not that. I don't know. I'm just kind of like a person. I'm not like a seductive character. I got you. We're going to talk about exactly that in this video. But if you join the Shallontourage, you're going to get access to the entire course. And we're actually going to use celebrities to demonstrate who these different seductive archetypes are. We're going to use Taylor Swift. Which one is she? How did she go from like the awkward girl to the superstar that she is? Is that transition part of her seductive charm? And we're going to use the Kardashians. I know. You don't have to love the Kardashians, but you do have to just know who they are. And I know that you do. We all do, okay? Even though we don't want to, we do. But when I started researching this, I realized that each one of the Kardashians embodies a very distinct seductive character. There's almost no overlap between them. And one of them is actually an anti-seducer. Maybe you can guess which one. But I'll actually tell you, and hopefully her, I hope she's in the Shallontourage, you never know. I'm going to tell her and you how to take that anti-seductive behavior, flip it on its head, and what archetype she is the closest to that she could step into relatively easily. Girl, I got all of them, and I've got you too. But before we get into it, yes, all of this content and so much more is in the Shallontourage. You know who's also in the Shallontourage? Your new best friend. Yes, you will get Evil Week. You will get the Sexy Session hookup tutorials. You will get the Happy Endings online dating course. You will get 5 videos from me a week, 25 different group chats. And you know who else is in there? You know what else you're going to find in the Shallontourage? Your new best friend. Your new best friend. I am losing count of how many girls meet in the group chats and get together offline. They go out, they meet up, they travel together. If you need a tribe, I have it for you. I have it for you. You can leave behind the ratty bitches in your life right now. Step into a group that's already waiting for you. We're here to embrace you. And like I said, you can watch all of Shallontine's Day, plus our most recent sort of winter Evil Week. It was the Ruthless Reset. Basically, how to quit the things and the people that are holding you back, that are no longer serving you, including your own habits that might be a little bit on the toxic side. But this time around, we're talking sexy. Okay, we're talking seduction. But look, I can sit here all day and tell you how to walk, how to dress, how to talk, how to text as your perfect seductive archetype. It's not going to do a damn bit of good if you do not feel like the sex bomb inside that you are. If you have not learned to tap into that divine feminine energy of embracing your sensuality and your sexuality, you can read all the books you want. You can join all the groups. It doesn't matter. It's always going to feel fake because it is fake. You really need this to kind of ooze from within. So today in this video, that's what I am going to teach you to do. How to truly inhabit just the concept of you being a seductive, sexy woman. The problem is, there is no point in watching all of the videos on seduction. I can tell you all day how to dress, how to text, how to do all of this stuff. If you don't feel like a sexy person, you're gonna learn all this, you're gonna try to put it in motion, and you're gonna feel like an imposter. And listen, a lot of times the tail will wag the dog. If you start doing it, your mind will get on board. But I want you to always be in the mindset of you being a perfect, divine, feminine, seductive weapon. How? That's what we're here to talk about today. This video is the pep talk you need to get out of your head, to get out of the conditioning that maybe you grew up with that told you good girls don't. Only sluts do that. No. You have to keep sweet and stay small. No man's gonna want you if you blep, blep, blep. Is that what you think of me? Is that what you think of me? No. I am an alpha female. I am educated. I am kind. I am smart. I am fucking ruthless. And I am above all things a woman with a capital W. I went through this revolution myself when I was about 22, where I realized if I don't take a hold of like my sensuality, my sexiness, my divine feminine right to be a tigress, right? A little she-wolf. No one else is going to hand it to me on a silver platter. It's just not going to happen. I've shared with you guys before that my sort of villain origin story is that I was assaulted in college, as so many of us were. And you know who came to save me and help me? Literally fucking no one. No one. Not my friends, not the police, not a therapist, not my family, nobody. And I told all of those people. And no one cared. And that was worse than the attack itself. But something happened to me at that time. Something died and something was reborn. And that was the idea of who I'm living this life for. I'm living it for myself, actually. Because when the going got tough, who was there picking up the pieces? Oh, it was just me. It was actually just me. So when I had to look that in the face, and you know what, girl? We all do, because this is unfortunately a universal truth that it's always just us. It's always just us. No one actually is coming to save us. Even if they want to, they can't. Like when I think about what people could have done to rescue me from that situation, I honestly don't even know what it would have been that would have been helpful. I don't know. But I know that I felt completely abandoned. And in that aloneness was the truth that if I am going to be picking up the pieces, I will decide how I put them back in order. I will decide what my life looks like. I'll decide where I live. No, thanks. No, I don't want to stay in this town. I'll decide what my job is. I'll decide who I have sex with and how many times and how many of them. I will decide all of this. It was a brutal sort of phoenix-like rebirth. But there was something I'm so thankful about in that. Of course, not that it happened, but I'm thankful that I was able to get a lesson out of it, which was, this is my life. This is my body. I learned that real well too. And I get to treat it the way I decide. And so after that, I went through kind of a sexy revolution. Like, it wasn't like slutty, but I just decided I'm not going to be ashamed of my body. I'm not going to be ashamed of my sexuality. And I know that that's kind of like, maybe I'm sure a therapist would have something to say about it. Whatever. But you know what? The therapist probably could have had something to say about it, but they didn't at the time. Whatever, we're moving on. My life and my body and my sexuality and everything, not just those things, but everything in my life now belonged to me and me alone. And yeah, people could offer their opinion. At the end of the day, fuck them. I'm going to do what I want to do. And therefore, I had to learn real quick what makes me happy. What makes me happy? Is it living here or is it living there? Is it this job or is it that job? Is it dressing like this or is it dressing like that? I had to go through that transformation very, very, very quickly. And I realized that at first it was difficult to really get to know myself. It felt so incredibly naughty. For lack of a better word, it just felt like something I was not supposed to be doing. I was supposed to constantly be asking everyone, is it okay that I did? Is it okay? Do you think it's a good idea that I moved to New York? Is that okay? What about that? Should I do that? I don't know. Because that's what everyone else around me was doing. Please, please, please. May I, may I, may I. Every woman I knew was acting like she was a paper waiting to be graded. And I wasn't. I'd already gotten a grade from life. You know, I already felt like I had been, I don't know, put through the paces. And I was done asking permission because I don't know what I was getting from that. Feeling like I was owned by others. Well, doesn't ownership offer you some measure of protection? It didn't for me. So I wasn't going to be owned by my sorority sisters or even by my family, by my friends, by my job. Nobody owned me. And they still don't. Not in those kind of ways. I decided to really beautify and sort of, I guess, sexify my life. Listen, I was a very, very good girl. I was a virgin until I was like 20, almost 22. I think it was almost 22. And it's not that I regretted that, like by any means, but I really decided to inhabit Shallon the sexy person. Now you might be saying, Shallon, that's great. You got that silver lining out of a horrible situation, but like, it doesn't sound like you grew up super religious, okay? It doesn't sound like you're the daughter of immigrants who have a very rigid idea of what you should be as a woman, how you should act, what your virginity means, what your sex appeal means, what your marriage prospects are. You don't sound like you grew up in a box like that. And you know what, girl? You're right. I didn't. And I'm thankful for that. You can always get out of these boxes. Did you come this far to only come this far? Did you come this far to only come this far? Well, this is how I was raised. Okay. What was the first food you ever ate? It was breast milk, for God's sakes. Are you still drinking it? No, you moved on. Are you still crawling? You're probably walking. You might even drive. Crazy, I know. It's time to grow the fuck up. It's time to grow the fuck up, okay? There is no way you are going to be able to be a sexy, seductive weapon and therefore truly a woman. And therefore, if you limit yourself in this category, this huge category of your sensuality and your womanhood, if you limit yourself there, you are limiting yourself in every other category, I assure you. How do I know this? Because I was doing it. I've lived this. When I wasn't taking control of like my sensuality and my sexuality, and I'll define how these are different. To me, sensuality is like you just live sexy, right? It's not about like, oh, it's about like fucking. It's not, no. Like I like beautiful dresses. I like shiny jewelry. I like shiny lips. I like glossy skin. I like beautiful surroundings. This is a tiny little Arc de Triomphe made of chocolate in my hotel in New York. I love it. I'm probably going to try to take it home on the plane. I like nice candles, nice body lotion, beautiful sheets. I make sure that my environment is sensual. It's pleasurable. And what is the word sensual broken down to? Senses, the 5 senses. If you come into my house, if you look around anything that I do, there's textures, there's soothing colors, the smells are on point. Everything is designed to tingle your senses in a way that I enjoy. I don't leave really anything to chance. I'm very intentional about everything in my orbit, as much as I possibly can be, right? I like cutesy little things, like blush pink is my color. Everything is blush pink. It's just part of my personal brand. Why is this so important? Because it makes me inhabit my body. I am not on autopilot. My house is very intentionally decorated. My style is very intentionally curated. Everything I do, everything I touch, everything, again, in my orbit is intentional. And because it's intentional, I take that intentionality, because I'm already used to doing it, into every category of my life. I'm not on autopilot at all. I'm therefore intentional about the friends that I'm around. Because if I'm clued into like, what do my sheets feel like? Is my bed made in a way that I walk into the room, I'm like, ah. Or is it just like, yeah, I don't know, I just fucking made it. Okay, that attitude, yeah, I don't know, just what, I don't know. Do you have people in your life that fall into that category of like, I don't know, she's fine. We've like been friends for, I don't know, like 10 years, so she's whatever. We recently did some videos on this with Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, like how to break up with a toxic friend. They don't have to be like toxic, like crystal toxic, to just simply no longer feed you. Your environment doesn't have to be a trap house full of roaches to simply not be feeding and elevating you. We have so many opportunities to tap into that womanhood in our life, which again, that divine female energy is not like, we're fucking, it's intentionality. It's the five senses. It's what makes me happy. What makes me happy? A few years ago, I had a manager. Never again. And not because of her, just I cannot be managed. I'm Kanye West. And she's like, we need to change up your brand colors. Like your colors, like this pink, gold, cream, they're just really outdated. And I'm like, but this is, I mean, that's what I like. That's the colors of my house, those are the colors I wear. Even my skin tone is, I'm just that. That's who I am. She's like, no. We went around and around and around. And finally, she gave me a brand palette that was basically the FedEx colors. Georgina, I'm sorry if you're watching this. I hated those fucking colors. I know we tried. I know that we tried. But it was like orange and blue. I hate those two colors. You almost never see me in these colors. And you know what? Here we are again, back with blush pink. Like, I need to be who I am. I need to be who I am. And you need to be who you are too. And this is like figuring out, it sounds weird. It's like, what are my brand colors? How does this tie into being a sexy, sensual person? Because the women out there who are getting the men you want are doing so not because they're hotter than you. God knows, not because they're smarter, but because they're weaponizing their femininity. And that starts with knowing what that weapon is. What is it? Is it coquette? Is it the siren? Is it the dandy? What is it? They know. Do you? Don't tell me you're being outgunned by a bunch of pigeons. No, my eagle. No, my swan. There's some pigeons and parakeets out there taking what's rightfully yours. No. This is why sensuality is important, because it's actually not about sex. It's about yourself. It's about re-inhabiting yourself all the time, being constantly aware. Do I like this? Do I like that? I do. Great. This is curated to me specifically. I don't care if it's trendy. I don't care if it's unpopular. It's me. It's me. But let's go back to what we were saying. If you have this like, I don't know, whatever mentality, you're carrying that into your job. You're carrying that into your dating relationships. You're probably carrying that into your body and how you dress yourself. If you are ignoring your divine feminine energy, that is absolutely cancerous. It is bleeding into every other aspect of your life. Mark my words. Mark my words. I don't know one girl, because I live in Montana now, so I know some, they're not always like the most fashionable. Do you know what I mean? They've got their date night chapstick. Like these women who don't pay attention to themselves, they don't dress well, they only have one eyebrow, there might be a mustache situation. They're not fucking architects. They're not lawyers. They're not graphic designers. They're not. They're just kind of there. And this is in Montana or not. Like, they're just kind of existing. And if you ask them, how are you? They're like, oh, nothing's really bad, but nothing's really good. It's just sort of, because there's no ownership. There's no ownership. Why do we get here as women? How does this happen? Well, like you probably are thinking, I know exactly how this happens. It's my upbringing. It's my family. It's, you know what it is? Maybe it's not that. It's that no boys have ever liked me. So you're sitting here telling me to just like, oh, be really seductive. Just go like full send on this concept. Guys have never liked me. And you're telling me the solution is to be more seductive? Yeah, girl, actually, maybe that's entirely the problem. Maybe you're just sort of there, not leaving much of an impression. If you go full send on a seductive archetype, which again, in this course in the Shallontourage, I'm going to tell you how to figure it out and how to embody it in ways that are like natural and automatic to you, not like, oh, I'm like cosplaying as a sexy woman. No. I'm going to tell you how to like just dial up certain things. It's going to be easy, I promise. I've done it. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe you need to inhabit this femininity in a real deal, full send or no send kind of way. I am a very specific person. I am, and I understand that. I'm like hyper specific. I'm more specific than a lot of other people. I am also the biggest seductive weapon I've ever even fucking met. I walk into a room, heads turn. I will have men come up to me. Do you know how many times this has happened? 4. Guys come up to me at a party and they're like, I don't know what it is about you, but I need to touch you. Well, and sometimes they're like, I need to fuck you. I was like, you're not going to fuck me. But there is a magnetism that I have. It is because I am unafraid of my feminine power. And it's not because I'm blonde. It's not because I'm cute or whatever. I have another friend who is like this. Mandy walks into a room and everyone fades to the background. And Mandy's like, she's got some curves. Like she's got some curves. She is juicy and you better watch out. She'll take your man. She'll take a man from Victoria's Secret model because she is a woman and she is unafraid of her feminine power. And she's taught me a lot of how to weaponize this. Follow her on Instagram, Mandy Brook Official. She's incredible. You probably already do. She's incredible. But she's not like wafy, and it would be like horrible if she was. Like I look at her body and I'm like, damn, like, what I give for that ass and those boobs. Like I'd trade it all. Like she knows what to do with it. She knows what to do with it. So don't blame your body, okay? And don't say, well, it's also because I'm not rich. Like these super seductive girls, like they have money, they have beautiful clothes. Do you think men give a fuck about clothes? Are you kidding me? Do you know what a man's favorite outfit is? The whipped cream bikini. Men love dairy. I've said it over and over again. They don't care. I was pulling dudes when I was shopping at TJ Maxx or when I'm wearing something expensive. Men don't care. So here's some steps to break free of that. Maybe it's religious, maybe it's family, whatever the conditioning is. Maybe it's, like I said, guys have just never liked you and you're like, I'm just not that girl. Like, that's great, Shallon. You're clearly like built to be like that girl who puts herself out there. No, I mean, yeah, I've always been kind of a ham, but I was never like the sexy one. Are you kidding? I didn't kiss anyone until I was 18. And it's not because I was fighting guys off with a stick. I'll tell you that much. It's because I did not inhabit my body. I was always trying to be what the trends wanted me to be, what the cool girls were doing. I was just someone else, anyone else. I was not me. There was a me in there. And like I said, that event in college, I just hit a wall. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be all these other people, trying to be the Shallons that they want me to be. Where are they? Where are they picking up these pieces? They were nowhere. So I don't want you to be what your sorority sisters or your regular sisters or your boss, anybody wants you to be, because they will not be there to pick up the pieces if something goes bad, okay? They won't, because that's just how life works. Even if they love you, and like I said, even if they want to, they cannot. You have to save yourself in this life. And if you're waiting for someone to ride in and save you, it is going to be a very long, bitter, lonely wait. It feels a lot better to say, you know what? Shit happens. We're going to pick ourselves up from this. We're going to get the help that we need in our way. And we are going to remember that we belong to us. All right? So I'm going to dress how I want. And I will actually decide who I am. Well, you've never been like that. Get the fuck out of shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like I said, at one point I'd only had breast milk. When I started eating solids, people were like, whoa, 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 whoa. She's never done that before. It's weird. She used to crawl. Now she's walking. It's just, this isn't you, girl. This isn't you. Get back down on all fours. No. No. You have the right to evolve. No questions asked. You have the right to change on a dime. That is not just your right as a woman. It is your obligation as a woman. Why? Because we're alpha females. What makes an alpha female an alpha female? Is it how much money she makes, how many dudes she pulls, the size of the ring on her finger? No, it's how complex she is. Pigeons, they're eating cigarettes. There is no complexity, no diversity there. None. None. And for people who are pigeony, they go with the flow, they stay in their town, they do what's expected of them, and never once do they ask themselves, do I want to be doing this? And if they do, they're like, oh, well, of course I do. And then they come across people like you who are like, no, dude, I ask myself a lot of questions. Do I want to be doing this, wearing that, eating this, fucking him? What do I want to be doing here? And they have a real problem with us because we throw up a lot of contrast for them, right? Because we are multitudes. We could be on many different paths. Them, they've only got one. Okay. Yeah, no, I know you have to stay in your small town. That's all you can do. So yeah, you're going to trash me for being a New Yorker. You wouldn't even be able to get out of JFK without having a panic attack, girl. But so sure, disdain that which you cannot have and cannot be. So we are multitudes, which makes us alpha. And therefore we have, yes, the obligation to change and to grow and to try on all of these different versions of ourselves. It's like picking one outfit that you're going to wear for the rest of your life. Why would you do that when you don't have to? Be a bunch of different women. That's the fun of life. That's the fun of being a girl. Is you can be coquette one season, you can be dreamy siren, that you can just change it up as you see fit. And you don't need anyone's permission, no matter what they're trying to tell you. So here's how you do that. Number one, realize that data is the antidote to fear, okay? In our minds, we're like, oh, I couldn't just put myself out there like that. I couldn't just wear red lipstick and heels. I'm not that girl. Again, who's that girl? And who decided who that girl is? People who aren't going to pick up the pieces for your life? Okay, so we've already decided we're not listening to that, right? Right, okay. Wear the red lipstick. Be flirty. Be sassy. And you know what you're going to find? Your life doesn't fall apart. God does not like strike you down. People don't call you a whore walking home because you're not. I mean, even if you were a whore and you're selling your body, who cares? Girl, I give it away. If you can sell it, more power to you. Go out there and workshop some of this. And sometimes it's easier to move on when you move, right? I am always my best self when I travel because nobody knows me where I am. I'm not going to like see the same old people. And there's just something about a different environment that gives you the permission slip to try on a different side of your personality. So you might need to drive 2 towns over and wear that red lipstick. You might need to get on a plane. You might need to come on a Shallagator getaway. And it's so funny. Like every time I host these trips, girls come and there's usually 1 or 2 and they're like, I have to say, and they'll always say it on like the last day. They're like, you guys, I never like dress like this. How I've been dressing all week, this is just not me. This is not how the people back home know me. I never put myself out there. I would never flirt with the guy back home the way I did on this trip. And all the girls look at each other and they're like, really? It seems so natural, really? And they're like, oh no, yeah, no, I'm like the good girl. I'm the girl who's always wearing black. I'm the girl who doesn't flirt. I'm the girl who can't make friends. And we all look at each other, we're like, that's crazy. I would never think that. I would never think that. Why? Because people are very willing to buy what you're selling. If you're like, yeah, I'm the sexy bitch, people are like, okay. I'm the girl who wears red lipstick. Okay. I'm the girl who flirts. Yeah, get it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Imposter syndrome is one of those things that truly only exists in our mind. No one's like, wait a minute, I don't think that's who she is. You know why? Everyone is so concerned about themselves. We're all just here obsessing about our own behaviors. No one is really policing what you're doing, not to the degree that you think. And if someone is, because you might be saying, oh no, my mother is policing me all the time. With respect, fuck your mom. And with respect, you need to grow the fuck up. Okay? And if that means you have to get away from your family in order to exert your autonomy, which, listen, almost all of us do. Almost all of us do. I didn't grow up religious. I didn't grow up in a box. I have a great relationship with my mom. She gives me room to be who I am. I still cannot live in the same house as her. I can't live in the same town. Not because there's anything wrong, but because I need my space. I need to be far enough away where I just feel like an independent woman. If I get too close to my family, I revert back to being a daughter. And this, if I do that, I know that you guys do that because I'm a pretty independent person. So that tells me this is human nature. This is not you failing and you're not really a woman. You're not a grown-up. This is just human nature, right? We just revert back to that. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just acknowledge like, okay, the longer I stay in this environment, the harder it's going to be for me to develop as an autonomous woman. And I understand this might not be able to change tomorrow. It might not. We talked about this recently in the Ruthless Reset, in the Shallontourage for our Winter Evil Week. And I was like, it was exactly this sentence of like, you need to grow up and get away from your parents. And some of the girls were like, okay, but I can't right now. Like, I'm still financially dependent. I'm getting my PhD. I have to live at home. Totally get it. Like, don't burn your life down. But okay, start small. Can I have a cell phone case that's like me? Can I wear the body lotion that I'm like, sexy? Who gives a shit what body lotion you use? Can you have sheets on your bed? Can you decorate your room? Can you have the inside of your car, your playlists, your shoelaces? Can you really get as granular as possible to be you in a way that, okay, maybe isn't gonna like upset the apple cart right now. In 6 months, when you have saved up for that apartment, then you can like spread your wings, but you can baby spread. You can do a baby spread right now. I know that you can, because when I went through this, like I said, I was in college. I was still very much under the thumb of the sorority, my mom, my professors, whatever. It wasn't until I got out to New York that I was like, and I became who I am. But until then, it was like little micro stretches all the time, and it was planning. It was planning. Because I had my eyes on the prize. I knew the kind of woman I wanted to be, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be her unless I really got out and about. It is also super crucial to remember that it isn't just your parents or your friends or whatever who are going to try to keep you in that box. It is society in general. It's society in general. Why? Because a woman who knows her power, a woman who knows her worth, a woman who is able to save herself, the most dangerous woman of all. We talked about this in Evil Week from last year, the art of social climbing. And someone was like, how is this falling under the category of evil? Like, oh, I want a better, richer friends. What is more evil than the woman who says, this actually isn't good enough for me? It's not good enough for me. I get that it's good enough for you. I fucking bet it is. It's not good enough for me because I am actually anointed, favored, blessed. I am VIP. I have the favor of the universe. I have the favor of God. Yeah. So I deserve really amazing things. That is exactly the definition of evil. Just ask our vice president, who's decided that the most nightmarish person in our society is basically me, a childless animal person. Because I'm like, I don't want any kids. Sorry. That's not good enough for me. And it's not because it's inherently bad. It isn't. It's just not my vibe. It's not my path. God, fucking die mad about it, which it sounds like he's going to. He's going to have a coronary if it doesn't calm down. Just relax, bro. You don't need to know what's going on inside my uterus. Nothing. But a woman who is kept sweet, kept small, she's malleable because she's unhappy. And so anyone who comes along is like, hey, I know what to do. I can save you. I can fix you. I can deliver you from this sadness and this restlessness that you feel. And maybe it's through a pill or a sexual encounter, whatever it is. Maybe it's a food. I'm going to fix you. She's going to say, oh my God, thank God. She needs saving. She needs rescuing. We don't. Everything in this society is designed to keep women as small as possible, from birth control pills, which fundamentally alters who we're attracted to. We are more likely to be attracted to like a beta male, seriously, with low muscle tone than women who are not on birth control. Who does that benefit? Beta males? Yeah, it's the fucking golden age of men with no pecs, isn't it? Spaghetti-armed losers. They're thriving. They're thriving. Like, this comes from the top. Sorry, I don't have a tinfoil hat to put on, but you know that I'm right. And once you start to attune your vision to all the ways society tells you to don't do that. Good girls don't do that. Who the fuck says I want to be a good girl? What's the prize? Because I was a good girl for 21 years until someone assaulted me. And then all of my goodness, all of my good behavior added up to absolutely nothing because no one came to help me. And maybe that was your experience too. And I'm sorry I'm like talking about this a lot in this video, but it is my villain origin story. And maybe that didn't happen to you, but I bet if you look someplace in your life, there was some place where someone let you down. All the people that you've been living for, shaping your life around, trying to keep sweet and be good for, where were they? Where were they? So you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's kind of weird to think that like sometimes truly inhabiting like the beautiful, divine, magical softness and power of a woman starts with getting really fucking angry. Starts with getting angry and saying, yeah, enough is enough. I want to know who I am inside. I want to know what God has imbued me with, because this is the other thing. Whatever made us, whatever incredible nature, whether it's Mother Nature, God, who, I don't know, anybody, anything. There's no way that they made us all with this divine feminine energy that we're somehow not supposed to use. That's something man decided. And I don't mean humans, I mean men. I mean literal men, okay? I say no to that. I say no to that. I understand why I'm scary. I understand why they would be afraid of you. Smart, beautiful, confident, ambitious women who also ready to get down. No thanks. Weak people don't love it. Who wants to see an ego get even bigger, a longer beak, sharper talons? They don't. You throw up too much contrast. But sometimes that might be the point. So to wrap up, I hope I've given you a little bit of a pep talk about why you deserve to truly unlock the seductress within. And I promise you, there is one. No matter how on the shelf you kind of feel, no matter how removed from the whole concept of truly being seductive and having power, real power over not just men, but like we said in the beginning, every aspect of your life. How to weaponize charm, flirtation, true sexual energy, soft feminine energy, dark feminine energy. If you feel like that's for other girls, that's not for me. Actually, this course is exactly for you. It's exactly for you. We're going to go step by step, brick by brick, and build you into a beautiful, magnificent, seductive weapon. Because remember, like I said, did you really come this far to only come this far? Did you develop your mind and your ambition and all of these other things, but you're just fine sleeping on this huge, incredible, beautifully, wonderfully, fearfully made part of yourself, your divine feminine energy? You're fine just telling not to fuck off and just letting it go dormant? If not now, when? You're never going to be as young as you are now. Is this something you're going to do when you retire? Yeah, is that what you're going to do? Nope. Nope. You're going to do it now. And you're going to unlock everything life has to offer you. And you can decide what you want to do with it. But that's the point. You are going to decide. No one else is going to decide for you. Okay, those days are over. Because once you start to unlock this will be the skeleton key that unlocks every other aspect of your life. All of your confidence, all of your ambition, all of your righteous, healthy anger to look people in the eye who are trying to keep you down and say, who the fuck do you think you are? And I can love you. I can love you, mom, dad, sister, cousin, bestie, anyone. I can love you. And I can still kind of say in my mind, with respect, fuck off. Because as much as I love you and as much as you think, genuinely you think you know what's best for me, I am now the woman who is able to understand what is best for herself. I have now done this work. I have unlocked this. I have started on this path, and it feels really good to be the master and commander of my life and what I enjoy. So you know what? We're not going back. We're not going back. We're only going forward. We're only discovering ourselves more. We're only beautifying our life more. We're only getting better sheets, and better body lotion, better candles, and better boyfriends. Because that's what we deserve. If you want to watch the rest of this, we're going to be in the Shallontourage, breaking down celebrities for their seductive archetype, helping you figure out which one you truly align with, and easy ways to step into those personas and and make it oh so effortless. All right. Also come to Paris. It's the opposite of country bullshit. It is going to be beautiful, luxurious, 5-star everything, all inclusive. We're gonna go to Versailles, the south of France. We spend a few days in Provence in the lavender fields. We're gonna go to the Louvre. We have a bike tour. It's just going to be the most perfect Emily in Paris, beautiful Parisian bucket list trip. So I will see you girls later, and I'll see you in the Shallontourage. Happy Shallontine's.